Welcome. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation at Shelter Rock. I'm the Reverend Natalie Fenimore, and along with the Reverend Jennifer Brower and the Reverend Ned White, I serve this congregation in our many ministries. If you are new today, I give you a special welcome and invite you into our community. But I offer a warm welcome to all who have made the journey here today. If you are a newcomer, if you take some time to look in your pew rack, that's the little slot behind the pews, and see a blue card if you'd like to receive more information about us, please fill out that card or go out to the hall to the Welcome Center at the end and talk to someone about getting on our mailing list so you can find out about the many events and activities here today. And for all of you, if you'd like to take some time after worship to look through your order of service, you'll see a number of events and activities that we'll be having this week and into the future. Take some time to find a thing that speaks to your heart, to your soul, to your brain, and join us in that activity or event. It's great when you can spend some time getting to know all of our many glorious and exciting members here. Today, I have a number of announcements I'd like to highlight. For next week, on Friday the 11th, we will have Soulful Sundown, which is our monthly Friday night worship service with a live band that's led by Reverend Jennifer Brower. And for those of you who'd like to engage in all the many ways in which you worship here, I offer Soulful Sundown as a way for you to have a different experience that we have on Sunday morning, but to still be part of our worshiping community. So please look for the flyers in the lobby and go to our website to know more about our Soulful Sundown worship, which begins with dinner, a small dinner, and then worship, and a coffee house afterwards. Next Sunday, on the 13th, Reverend White will be preaching on the third of a 6-part sermon series focusing on the sources of our Unitarian Universalist faith. This third source is the wisdom from the world's religions which inspire us in our ethical and spiritual life. Please join us for that sermon and worship service. And in recognition of the beginning of a new year together, today's UU Café Lunch, which immediately follows the worship service, is a gift to the congregation from the ministerial team. While there are not actually many free lunches in life, this is one. So now, as is our custom, I invite you to greet your neighbor. open our service and light our chalice with these words from the Reverend Kristen Harper. Each day provides us with an opportunity to love again, to hurt again, to embrace joy, to experience unease, to discover the tragic. Each day provides us with the opportunity to live. This day is no different, this hour no more unique than the last, except maybe today, maybe now, among friends and fellow journeyers, maybe for the first time, maybe silently, we can share ourselves. Please rise in body or spirit for hymn number 346. Come sing a song with me.
Please remain standing for the words of affirmation. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest of truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve human need, this do we affirm and covenant with each other. Please be seated. Freely we have received of gifts that minister to the needs of our body and spirit. Gladly we bring to our church and its wide concerns a portion of this bounty. Will the ushers come forward, please?
Our reading for this morning, Lessons from a Car Radio by Jackie Clemente. Years ago, when my former car, rest its soul, turned 10, it developed an unpredictability and surliness often associated with adolescence. In the beginning, it was just little things, like a rash of burned out headlight bulbs and rogue seat adjustments. But one quirk that really got on my nerves was the radio. It turned on and off at will, and seemingly at whim. At first, it would just take a while until the car was warmed up before it started working. Later, it would turn on when I started the car and then go off a few minutes after that, and then back on later still. For a while, it worked when it was really hot, and then when it was really cold. Basically, it came on and went off whenever it felt like it. Over a period of 10 years, I learned a lot of things from my car radio, like all the words to Achy Breaky Heart, and the fact that I still remembered all the words to every song from the 60s, although I could barely remember my own telephone number. But during the 4 years I was in seminary, I stuck pretty much to National Public Radio. And since I often drove up to 3 hours a day, I learned a lot from my radio. The greatest lesson, though, was this: never get attached to an NPR story, because you never know when the radio is going to go off. This lesson repeated many, many, many times in the years since. It was a lesson in letting go. My radio acted as a Buddhist master, teaching me not to become attached to the state of things as they are, or to a particular outcome. I haven't given up hoping for the best, but I've come to realize that while sometimes the outcome I crave is formed from high-minded ideals based on experience, reason, and research, other times it's just what I want. And when what I want doesn't happen, it's like Galinda says in the stage show Wicked, something's terribly wrong, I'm not getting my way. The challenge for me is to see the longer view, beyond my limited perspective. It helps to remember that life is impermanent and imperfect. This, coupled with faith that everything is innately connected, reminds me that clinging to particulars is both futile and unnecessary. There's one other thing that I've learned from my car radio. When I graduated from seminary, 3 churches within commuting distance of my home were looking for ministers. They were all prestigious pulpits, and they were not looking for someone fresh out of school. The night after I received the 3rd rejection letter, I headed out to a meeting at my internship site, feeling dejected and blue. When the car started, the radio was silent. And then about 2 minutes into the trip, it turned on to give me a half line from the Moody Blues' Nights in White Satin. The words said, "I love you." I know it was only the car, but somehow I believed it. The words of Jackie Clemente. We have reached that oh so precious time in our service when we invite you, those who wish to, who are so moved by the Spirit, to come forward to light a candle of hope, of joy, of yearning, of love. And as we do, we light 4 candles this morning for congregational needs. Carol, would you help me with this by lighting these candles, please? Either box is fine. Last Sunday, we waited for news of Norma Hohenstein. She had been removed from life support. Norma died on January 1st, the day before her birthday. Today, we hold her in heart and mind. A service will be held tomorrow at Nasa Knolls Cemetery at 11 a.m. It'll be conducted by the Reverend Ned White. All who wish to attend are invited to be present and extend their sympathies. Today we hold in our hearts our concern for Doris Smith, who I understand is hospitalized at St. Francis. We think, of course, of her son Henry, who cares for her, and offer our support to them both during this time. We celebrate with Leona and Stephen Handelman, whose grandchild Diana Nalani Sachi was dedicated yesterday in our chapel. We give thanks for the presence of one more Redeemer in our world. Diana and Norma share a birthday. How sweet is that? Our dear departed Norma Hohenstein and this little baby share a birthday. This morning, we also offer our blessings upon Reverend Dr. Natalie Fenimore as she prepares to begin a 5-month sabbatical. May it be a time of rest and renewal, and joy and discernment and fun for her. We invite you now to come forward as the Spirit so moves to light the candles that are burning in your heart. We join now in a time of shared prayer and meditation. We take this moment to pause between the week just ended and the week yet to begin. We pause to acknowledge all of the candles burning in these boxes and all that they represent, the fullness of our shared journey. Knowing that this time and space are made sacred by all that we bring in with us, we acknowledge that this service and this moment is filled with all manner of experience, some joyful and delightful, some discouraging, some fearful. Today we hold in our hearts and thoughts those who are feeling overwhelmed by the tasks that face them, the pressures in their work life, the stress of finding a job, of managing a home, of caring for children or parents or both or a partner, managing a crisis of emotional, physical, or spiritual health. We pause to honor all that fills our daily lives, all those tough tasks that we wrestle with every day. We hold in our thoughts those who are filled with joy and excitement today, those who have the joy of having found a new job, those who are developing new friendships that bring them delight and hope, those who are celebrating the arrival of a child, and those who are glad to be healing following an injury or illness. For a time, we pause to give thanks for all of the gifts of life and the joys and the up moments that sustain us during the difficult times. For all of these things, and for all that remains unspoken and held deep within each of us, we pause in this moment. May this time together, this time of sharing ourselves, this time of extending our silent energies and concerns to each other, bring us a sense of comfort and connection and peace. Amen.
If you'd like to join with us, we're singing number 1008 in the Teal hymnal.
So when she read my sermon title, Broken and Repaired, UUCSR member Angela Cisa, where are you, Angela? Angela Cisa emailed me this holiday message which she received from a friend. It read, "The snap, crackle, pop that formerly signaled milk being poured over cold cereal is now, alarmingly but frequently, the sound that accompanies my movements." And this reminded me of one of my father-in-law's concerns, that in his old age, when he and his friends got together, it turned into what he called an organ recital. You know, my tennis elbow, my shoulder when it rains, my knee is, my hip is, my stomach gets upset when I eat this, and then there's my back, and my memory, my brain, and my eyes now, 2 pair of reading glasses. You know, yes. Each year is both a new beginning and a marker of all the years passing. And how that passing, the passing of those years, touch each and all of us. We celebrate beginnings and new starts, but we must also recognize getting older, having another year's worth of bumps and bruises and cracks. And of course, not merely aches and hurts of the body, but our hearts and our spirits have also been through some trying times. We've had another year's worth of parenting and grandparenting, and for some, great-grandparenting, anxiety. Another year of money worries, concerns about school and work, and our national politics and news of the world have been the cause of many a moment of heightened emotions, painful struggles, and I'm afraid too many cases of broken relationship. We cannot care without the risk of this pain. And over the last year and into the next year to come, all of us will most likely have suffered, and we will suffer again. Try as we might, there is little way to protect ourselves, little way unless we give up caring altogether. And even that process of being dehumanized is a painful one. Pain of the body, brokenness of the heart and the spirit, this is the human condition. In the Psalm 30 in the Hebrew Bible, it is written that sorrow, that weeping, endures for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Now, I don't think that this is meant to dismiss anyone's pain. Like the song in Annie, you know, the sun will come out tomorrow. These do not have to be words that deny the depth of pain and hurt. You can read these words as words of defiance, as words of determination, resilience, words of the human necessity to keep on moving, to move toward life, even in the face of pain and sorrow. The psalmist is pointing us away from the darkness of lonely, lonely sorrow towards the joy of renewal. Not to a joy of happiness, perhaps, not to a joy that's about laughter and glee, perhaps, but to a joy in the morning when we are more wise, when we accept revelation and understanding and hope. In this way, we are broken and then repaired. We are repaired by embracing the possibility of hope and renewal. It's not that we can go back to being what we were before the break. Breaks leave marks. But it is the case that we can recover We can be repaired. Sometimes the injured places remain weak and painful and tender. Sometimes they remain there always. And we learn to move gingerly through life with this wound and this scar. And sometimes, after the break, after the deepest of the sorrow, a new day does come, a new morning without pain or woundedness or sorrow. But this is something we cannot guarantee. We can only guarantee that there is hope. We may be broken, and in that breaking, we may be broken open. Our experiences of pain and suffering, our reconnection to others who share pain and suffering, these breaks may enlarge our hearts, open our hearts, expand our hearts so that more can get in there, so that there can be a greater capacity for caring, a greater empathy. It's sometimes difficult for most of us to see the beauty and the strength gained in our brokenness. The classical Greek aesthetics of beauty and perfection, which govern the majority of our American cultural imagination, denies any value to imperfection and gives little value to the ways our bodies show age and use. We're prone to worship youthful beauty and health, to worship them unconditionally. We are taught to seek an ideal of perfection beyond what is actually attainable for most, and what is never naturally sustainable for any. The perfection of face and body that stares at us from magazine covers and beauty screens does not help us to maintain a healthy self-image or a healthy appreciation of our own unique beauty and value. There are, of course, lessons to be gathered and embraced from other cultures, from other traditions. For instance, the Japanese concept of wabi-sabi. This is an appreciation of what is incomplete, imperfect, impermanent. It is the ability to recognize the beauty in broken things and to believe that nothing is ever truly broken beyond repair. We can incorporate this wabi-sabi philosophy into our Unitarian Universalist belief in our own wholeness and interconnection, in our welcome of diversity. Unitarian Universalists embrace a belief that no one, broken or not, has to remain outside the circle of love. Another aspect of Japanese traditional culture is kintsugi, or golden repair. In the 15th century, a Japanese ruler sent a cherished but broken bowl back to China for repair. Unfortunately, when it returned, the bowl had been repaired, but it had been repaired using these really ugly metal staples to hold it together. So, Japanese craftsmen were told to make a better repair. Imagine, you don't want to just ship things back and forth to China till they get it right. So, because this repair was for the ruler, the repair was made using liquid gold to repair the broken parts, to glue together the broken pot. And over time, people came to see the beauty of this repair as part of the beauty of the original bowl. So much so that some collectors were said to have deliberately broken bowls to give them a golden repair. There are life stories in the broken bowl, and in our own broken places live our life stories in our bent bodies, in our bruised spirits, in our broken hearts. I offer an invitation to you to offer those stories, for that is the learning and the wisdom that is needed in this community. So I leave for sabbatical next week, and I will return with stories and experiences. I expect to spend some time in study and writing and reflection and renewal and travel. But I'm sure that I will also have some stories of my own bumps and bruises, what didn't turn out quite right, the things I wanted to do that I wasn't able to do, the things that I did do that were not actually what I thought they were going to be. My life will continue as yours, bumps and bruises and cracks. And when I come back, I'll add those stories. I'll add those stories to yours, because it is together in our stories that we build an ever stronger community of faith. Kintsugi is an alternative to restoring something broken or damaged in ways that conceal or cover up the damage. That's our usual way to conceal and cover up. Kintsugi says that the damage can instead be incorporated into the repair. And what is repaired might be considered even better than what is new. Because the strands of gold are signs of use, and there's value in that use. It's something that enhances the beauty. The damage adds character. The gold lines tell a story of living, of falls and accidents and disasters and bumps and bruises and snap, crackle, pop. In the words of the songwriter Peter Mayer, I'm like one of those Japanese bowls that were made long ago. I have some cracks in me. They have been filled with gold. Please join in listening to Peter Mayer's song. The lyrics are printed in your order of service.
Japanese bowls that were made long ago. I have some cracks in me. They have been filled with gold. That's what they used back then when they had a bowl to mend. It did not hide the cracks. It made them shine instead. So now every old scar shows from every time I broke, and anyone's eyes can see I'm not what I used to be, but in a collector's mind, all of these jagged lines make me more beautiful and worth a much higher price. I'm like one of those Japanese bowls. I was made long cracks you can see how they shine of gold.
We are just like Japanese bowls. We are cracked and broken by life. And like those bowls, our cracks can be filled and our breaks mended by gold. The mending gold, which fills our cracks and broken bits, is our compassion, love, and care for one another. Let it be our communal New Year's resolution to see the beauty in each other, cracks and all. May we be mending gold for one another. Amen. May it be. Please rise in body or spirit for our final hymn, number 347, Gather the Spirit. These words from Barbara Peskin. Because of those who came before, we are. In spite of their failings, we believe. Because of and in spite of the horizons of their vision, we too dream. Let us go, remembering to praise, to live in the moment, to love mightily, to bow to the mystery. May it be so. Amen.